Let's talk about air conditioning. We haven't gotten too close or taken a closer look at what needs to happen. You may have seen this in some of the drawings. And as always, we start from an existing project. This one, for example, has the floor plan twice. So I'm going to go ahead and delete one. And there's a whole bunch of areas and dimensions. And what we're trying to do here is get the areas of each of the spaces and then the dimensions for the exterior walls. So I just take this layer, ref cloud, which are these, and start. I can either copy this rectangle here and just make it, shrink it to fit this office. And I pick one side or the other of each wall. So for instance, on here, I'm going to pick this side because when I do the room next to it, the one above it, then I'm going to pick this wall and let it be part. I'm going to let it be part of, or I'm going to have the reference or the polyline that measures the area pick that wall up. So I pick up the whole exterior wall, I pick up the office, and then you have to decide what side, who do you give this wall to, the one that separates the two tenants. These are unoccupied here. So I'm actually going to do, what I'm going to do here is take these polylines and stretch them to this side of the wall. So now the area gets a little bigger, but it's not significant to make enough to make a difference. So I'm going to continue making areas here. I'm going to copy this one here, and it turns out these rooms are the same size, so I don't have to do anything to that. Then I'm going to mirror this one, so I have them at the same starting point. I'm going to grab it from here and shrink it to that side. As a general rule, when I do hallways, the wall that separates the hallway from an adjacent room, I'm going to put it inside the room because most of the time people are actually in the office and not in the hallway. So then I'm going to do the area for this hallway here. I'm going to start here and I'll go up to this corner right here where the other area ends. And it's a funny shaped hallway because it's got this little thing going on here. Sometimes I give this thing its own area, and maybe I'll call it hallway 1 and hallway 2. Then I'm going to continue here and do the bathrooms. It seems like it wants to pick this point here, which seems to be like in the middle of those two, of the wall that separates the two bathrooms. I'm going to do that and go to the other corner, but then I'm going to make sure that I grab this and touch it to the other line. So there's no ghost walls. All the walls are accounted for, picked up. I'm going to mirror this bathroom. Chances are it's going to be the same size, and I don't have to fuss with it too much. Well, not quite. So I'm going to take it, stretch it out here to the exterior wall perpendicular to here. So then I got that. The reception is kind of a strange space because it's a big sales floor, but then there's a little reception area. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick it all up and make it part of the same space. So I'm going to get a polyline. I'm going to start at this corner and just pick up that entire space. And when I get to here, I'm going to intersect it or take it to the spaces I already created, to here, and I think, oh wait, here we go. Take it to here, to this corner, and you may not know this, but I can just click to here, or I can just type C for close, and then it closes that polyline. So now that polyline is closed. Then what I do here, after I got all my spaces, I copy some text to each one of them, and it helps me out because I know they're not all 493, so if it says 493, that means I haven't checked it and updated it. So it's sort of something to help you out. At least it helps me out. When I finish doing that, and I think that's all the spaces. Then I list the space. It gives me a square footage. I round it, so that's 5116 by 116. And I do the same for the rest of them. And sometimes it's tricky because it wants to pick up something else. So like for instance on this one, if you try to click the bottom line for this office, it picks up that line. If you try to pick here, it picks up the hallway next to it. If you put it on top, it puts up the line on top. So you got to play around until you find the right one. I'm looking for this room, so I'm going to list it here. 159 square feet. 159. This is not 493. So that's 283. 283. Sometimes, if you can't pick it, then I just come from right to left, pick both of them, and then remove that one from the selection. List it, and it's going to be the same size. Because if you remember, I just mirror that, and it landed right on. So it's 159. The little break room. See, I can't pick it, so I'm going to pick them both, and then delete that selection. Or delete that room from the selection. 79 square feet. Bathrooms, same thing. I paid too much, and I delete it. Works for me. 50 square feet. And the other bathroom, 54. Here we go. I think we got them all. Next, we're going to dimension the exterior walls. So I do the same thing. I'm just going to grab two dimensions, the horizontal and the vertical, and I'm going to copy them from this corner to this vertical corner here. I think I told you before that I don't create new stuff. I just copy it. So I just grab this dimension, take the grip, stretch it to here. And so I didn't have to create a dimension. I just did that. Then I'm going to mirror it. It's too long, so I'm going to go over there, grab the grip, and put it in this corner. So now I got the exterior dimensions for this, for let's call it the north elevation. We'll look in a minute, and we'll find out which way this is actually pointing. Then I'm going to stretch the vertical dimension here, and what I'm dimensioning is the rooms. So this showroom is one big room. So the wall facing to the right here is that long. On the top, we have part of it is showroom, part of it is office. So that's what I'm dimensioning to. And what I use is the lines of the areas. What I'm going to do on the bottom is take these two dimensions. I'm going to mirror them around the midpoint of this dimension line because it just so happens that that's in the center. And I did something wrong here, and they didn't land just right, but no big deal. So I'm going to take the grip. I'm going to put it in the corner here, and I'm going to highlight this one so I got both grips at the same time. And this one's a little longer. The reception actually extends to here, and the part of the bathroom that's actually exposed to the outside is only 3'9". That's an exterior wall. Remember, we're only interested in exterior walls. So I'm not going to dimension this side over here because eventually there's going to be a future tenant, and that's going to be conditioned space. What I'm trying to find here is what walls are exposed to the outside, because later on we'll do some work on calculating air conditioning size, and exposed walls are a big part of it. I'm going to do the same thing to this one, but there's no need to show it. I am going to, although the area of the warehouse part is not conditioned, it's still going to be important to us because we have to, even if we're not conditioning, we have to ventilate it. That means we're going to have to put an exhaust fan in there to keep air moving. So I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to do this, and then we'll come back and we'll go to step 2.